watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Smithley driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to TNT Tuesday, brought to you by Kma Racing and Pro Automotive. This is race 9 of 15, and we are at Texas. I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer for the night. Joining me in the booth is Joel Guy. How are you doing, Joel Guy?
Scott, I'm doing just great on this Tuesday afternoon here in Texas.
I tell you what, it is going to be a great race tonight. We've got 80 laps coming at you from Texas in the Gen 6s, the Sprint Cup cars. Live broadcast brought to you by All Pro Broadcasting. Joel, go on and talk to us about this 1.5-mile Texas track.
Texas, like you say, is 1.5 miles long. It's been 14 years since it was surfaced or paved, so it's rough. It's wore out. It's going to be slick. The cars are going to start sliding around early in the race, and the drivers are going to have to drive them. They're not going to be able to flat foot it like they do at Talladega and Daytona and Auto Club. They're going to have to drive this track. It's got 4 turns. They're 24 degrees banking on them. It's a D-shaped oval, so it has no front straightaway. The only straightaway on this track is the back stretch.
Alrighty, we are driving the Gen 6, the Chevy SS, the Toyota Camry, and the Ford Fusion. Very fast cars, very heavy cars. We are mostly cloudy at 72 degrees. Now our track temperature is sitting up there at 83 degrees, but with a mostly cloudy sky, it's not going to get too unbearable out there. It's not going to get too slick, too hot, other than for the parameters that you had mentioned earlier. Now these drivers tonight are looking at about a fuel load of 30 to 34 laps. So under green flag situation, we're only talking maybe 2.25 pit stops, but talk to us about pit stops here at Texas.
Texas is a hard track to get on pit road. You come off of turn 4, and right there's the entrance to the pit road. So you either come off hot off of turn 4 and try to break it down to pit road speed from running close to 180, 190 mile an hour, or you start going down onto the apron right off the backstretch before you enter turn 3 and come around that way, depending on how your car's handling and how you're going to go. Once you get in your pit stall, everything's cool. Coming off pit road, you got to wait till you get around to the backstretch to get back on the track, and that is a flat piece of track going around there, and it is slick if you try to push it too hard.
A lot of things for these drivers to be thinking about tonight here at Texas. Now, as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, this is race 9 of 15 in a points chase. Right now, our points leader with 1 win is Dustin Lee, sitting at 283 points, but 4 points back is KMA's very own Tristan Beats, sitting at 279. In third place of the chase is Jack Watts at 273. Fourth place, Jarrett Lipster at 266. And Michael Jeans in 5th place, sitting at 257, just 26 points behind the chase leader of Dustin Lee. So a lot of time for these guys, Joel, to get their points back up there to the front. One bad night for Dustin Lee can easily set him back 15 or 20 points, and one good race for Jarrett Lipster could put him in first place.
Absolutely. Points at this track are going to be maximum. They can get taken out early in this track because of the way you have to drive it. And if you don't back off and the person in front of you backs off to go in that corner and you don't back off far enough from them, you run into the back of them, it's going to put you in the wall.
And, one great thing, we have mixed up these tracks here in the TNT Tuesday Night Series. Next week, we are heading out to Atlanta, then Auto Club, Charlotte, Daytona, Kentucky, and we're going to wrap it up in Las Vegas on December 20th. So if you cannot excel here tonight at Texas, you're still looking at Kentucky, at Daytona, at Charlotte. So everybody's going to have their strong suit, and you're allowed, with that strong suit, not to have such a good race tonight. So no big pressure. Big shout out to our fans out there. Big shout out to All Pro Broadcasting, working hand in hand with KMA Racing 2 to 3 times a week, doing several broadcasting situations there. Big shout out to the painter, Over the Top Paints and Designs, always keeping us looking good out here. Every track, every vehicle. Check them out on Facebook. Final shout out to Pro Automotive. He is our sponsor for the TNT Series. Pro Automotive and Jason Russo, ASE certified technicians out of the area of Dudley, Massachusetts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last night's broadcast that we did have some difficulties with the replay feed up on YouTube. That was through no fault of All Pro Broadcasting. We are working hard to get a hold of the guys with the cameras up there on YouTube and hoping to get that replay situation fixed. But we did want to make you aware that we are aware of that unfortunate problem with the YouTube replay, and we are trying to get her fixed. Thank you for our patience. Our grid sponsor, Michelangelo's Painting, and we are getting down to our grid. Go on and start us off on the grid, Joel.
Sitting on the pole in the number 8 car is Michael Jeans with a 28.132. Outside pole, Tristan Beats in the 211 with a 28.241. In third place, we have Vernon Marheim in the 33 car with a 28.247. In fourth place, we have Paul Cohen in the 051 with a 28.248. In fifth place, we have in the number 3 car, Mark Jackson with a 28.293.
Taking a hold of that number 6 spot is Craig Kenny with a 28.301. The number 9 of Jarrett Lipster, sitting in 7th with a 28.323. The number 51, Dustin Lee, position 8 with a 28.330. Jack Watts, position 9, driving for KMA Racing, 28.415. And the number 88, side by side with his teammate, position 10, 28.684.
In 11th place, we have Matt Crafton in the number 20 car with a 28.754. In 12th is Burles Falcon in the 006 with a 29.817. Not wanting to qualify, we have in 13th Raymond Rittenauer in the 87 car. In 14th, Donald Stewart in the 78 car. 15th, Ivy Garcia in the 72 car.
In the back of the field, the number 74, Wesley Whitfield. And the number 85, William LEC. And the number 6 of Chris Hogue. Taken out. He is in the rear of the field tonight. Not a huge group of drivers tonight, so it ought to be an extremely good race. What are you expecting tonight? Are you expecting a runaway for any particular group of drivers?
I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, the Southeast Motorsports guys will get together and they might try to run away with it. I'm not saying they will, but they might try.
Well, we do know that tonight's pole sitter, Michael Jeans, was the winner last night in race 1 of the Monday Mania, brought to you by KMA and Richie B's Pizza. Michael Jeans, a lot of expectations out of Michael, as he was last night's winner at Dover.
Yeah, he did a good job at Dover, and that was a awesome race last night at Dover. Now we're here, pace car's off. He's holding them back. He's on throttle and gone. He's got about a 2-car length lead on the 211 of Tristan Beats going into 1.
Now all starts and restarts are done on the leader's discretion, and Michael Jeans, as our race leader, he was on that hammer pedal quite fast. Very good start out of the gate here at Texas, but already we have got the number 211 of Tristan Beats hot on his tail. Now,
Tristan Beats just hit the wall.
Fortunate break for Tristan Beats early on. That one there is going to slow him down, already losing 3 positions. And again, side-by-side contact with, it is a KMA driver he made contact with. I believe it was Jarrett Lipster. So Tristan Beats struggling right now, doing everything he can. He is falling to the back of the field, trying to regain his composure here on lap 2.
While he tries to gain his composure, Michael Jeans has pulled out to about a 10-car length lead over Vernon Marheim in the 33 with Mark Jackson in the 3 trying to get by Vernon Marheim on the backstretch.
Michael Jeans is a half a second up off of Vernon, but the action on the track is between Mark Jackson and Vernon Marheim, battling for that number 2 spot. Mark Jackson choosing to follow pretty much move for move on the number 3 tonight, sitting back biding his time. Now tonight, Joel, tire wear is very important here at Texas.
Absolutely. Tire wear will either make your race or it'll end your race, depending on how bad you wear your tires out.
And right now, interestingly enough, Michael Jean's up there in the front by himself. He is actually pulling away from Vernon and Mark Jackson, almost to about a 700-second of a lead right now. So I do not believe that Mark is being slowed down by Vernon, but I just think that Michael Jean's being up there by himself, grabbing all that clean air. Mark Jackson side by side with the number 33 of Vernon and making a clean pass down on that inside. And Mark Jackson, the faster driver, in that corner here on lap 5 of 80.
Yeah, Mark's now got clean air in front of him, or semi-clean air in front of him, but the big thing is he's not following the car, so he can run his own line. He's got enough of a lead off of Vernon to run his own line and not bind the car up to handle the track.
Well, right now he is .785 back, but now that he has gotten past the number 33 of Vernon Margheim, he does seem to be leaving Vernon Margheim slowly but surely, and he is up to a half a second away from Michael Jeans. So certainly Mark Jackson out there making busy of this track tonight here early on lap 7.
Yeah, Michael Jeans and Mark Jackson have both apparently they know how to get around this track very good, and it's not slowing them down to drive it. So they're getting out front and they're going to leave it.
Whoa, the number 6. We've got the number 6, Chris Hogue, in trouble in the rear of the field. We're going to back that up and take a look at that. I'm hearing on the track, though, it was the number 88 of Gary Burt that initially has brought out the caution here on lap 7. Taking a look at it on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay brought to you by GW Graphics, we do see the number 88 of Gary Burt breaking loose, coming down the stretch, sliding left into the wall, and then rocketing back up into that wall. Unfortunate break for the number 88 of Gary Burt's only car involved in it tonight. But unfortunately, as Chris Hogue in the number 6 was trying to get slowed down to avoid it, spins himself out across the track, nose in into the exterior wall, but no other traffic involved tonight. So I tell you what, Joel, very interesting situation right there. We had the number 88 of Gary Burt breaking loose, able to stay out of traffic's harm. All other drivers able to avoid him, but behind Gary Burt, the number 6 of Chris Hogue, trying to get his vehicle locked down, spun it himself. Both drivers suffering injury.
Yeah, they were, but from a closer look, it didn't look like a lot of damage on Chris's car. His team pit crew can fix it without him having to bring him back up out, I think.
Right now, most of this field going into pit row. Michael Jeans, our race leader, going into pit row, as well as Mark Jackson, Vernon Margheim, Jarrett Lipster, and Matt Clifton. So very, very busy place on pit row. All drivers pretty much surely going to take left sides and right sides.
Definitely, Mark Jackson took 4 tires and fuel. He's back out on track now. I'm assuming that Michael Jeans took 4 tires and fuel, but I did not see his pit stop, so I can't verify that.
Right now, Michael Jeans is our race leader here. Pulling up behind the pace car. We've got Ivan Garcia actually out there behind the pace car, so Ivan Garcia may be our current race leader. But we're going to get a chat in here with Michael Jeans. Always a pleasure to talk to here, running for Southeast Motorsports. How about it, Michael Jeans? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Alrighty, very excited to see you where you are at tonight. You're in a good spot. You're coming off of a major win last night at Dover. Do you think you can get a 2 for tonight?
Well, it looks pretty good so far, but this is a long race. This is a really hard track, which it's, I don't know, it's another thing I like. Texas is home track for me, so I got to try to do my best here.
Well, what are going to be the keys to success as far as pitting, as far as tire change, 2 tires, 4 tires?
Well, this is my test. That was 9-lap run. I took 2. This car is really tight here, so I'm hoping that's going to free me up just enough. But if you go over a 10-lap run, I don't think you're going to want to take 2 tires. As bad as this place eats tires up, like I said, this place is it's a handful. So tire management's going to win everything tonight.
All righty, copy that. Big shout out to you, and big shout out to Southeast Motorsports. Good luck to you, Michael.
Thank you.
Michael Jeans out there running for Southeast. Now, Ivan Garcia in the number 72 is our current race leader. Michael Jeans in second place. We have got Mark Jackson sitting in third, Vernon Margheim in fourth, and the number 20 of Matt Clifton in fifth. Now, last night at Dover, this young driver, Matt Clifton, the number 20, we had a late caution. Driver went in there, got some fresh tires, and he actually came back from, I believe it was 7th place, and took home 2nd place in a matter of 4 laps last night at Dover. So as Michael Jeans mentioned, tires are going to come into play tonight, Joel.
Absolutely, tires are going to come into play tonight, and we're going to see right now just how good tires are, because Mark Jackson, I saw, took 4. Michael Jeans just said he took 2, so I expect to see Mark out front in a matter of seconds.
I'll tell you what, this will be an interesting restart, ladies and gentlemen. Word on the track is the number 72 of Ivan Garcia did not go into pit road, did not take tires. Now, he is side by side with Michael Jeans. We know Michael Jeans took 2, and I believe that Mark Jackson took 4. So, and away goes Ivan. Ivan already out there on the gun. Big jump out. Michael Jeans, Mark Jackson side by side. Vernon Margheim dropping down to that low lane in a possible 3-wide position, something we do not want to see early on. Mark Jackson boring down on the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. Slight fishtail by Ivan. Ivan down onto the inside. And here comes Mark Jackson. Here comes Vernon Margheim. Vernon Margheim backing it out 3 wide with the number 20 and the number 8. Mark Jackson side by side making the outside pass with the number 72, Ivan Garcia. And again, here comes Michael Jeans. I tell you what, that no tire decision for Ivan Garcia, not paying off here on lap 14.
No, it didn't. And if you look, Michael Jeans is dropping back through the field. The cars that took 4 tires are going by him like he's sitting still almost.
One of those being the number 20 of Matt Clifton, but he has got 99 of Jarrett Lipster boring down on Michael Jeans and Ivan. And here goes Jarrett Lipster just a little bit loose in that red and black 99. Getting very close with number 51 of Dustin Lee. And here comes Raymond Rittenauer up the middle in the number 87, passing Jarrett Lipster.
Yes, and Dustin Lee's fixing to go around Jarrett Lipster also. So Jarrett's dropping back too.
Dustin Lee making a successful pass, now trying to maneuver himself around the number 72 of Ivan Garcia, who currently has lost 5 positions. But Dustin Lee losing momentum, almost sideswiping the wall. Number 90 coming around Dustin Lee. Now it is the number 90 of Craig Kinney, passing Ivan Garcia down onto that inside lane. And once again, here comes the number 51 of Dustin Lee, passing Ivan down onto that inside lane, as well as the number 3 passing down on the inside, the number 99 passing down onto the inside. And I tell you what, Ivan is thinking right now he should have taken 4 tires, as the number 51 of Paul Cohen and Jack Watts making their moves as well. And we have got a turn with Paul Cohen in the 051. It's not going to bring out the caution, but it appeared that the number Number 77 of Jack Watts getting into the rear end of Paul Cohen into 051. Now that we do see Paul Cohen starting to spin just a hair, and that is when Jack Watts caught him into the rear end. Paul Cohen still rolling, Jack Watts still rolling, no caution. Now up in the front, we've got Mark Jackson, a new race leader. Matt Clifton in position 20, and Michael Jeans now sitting in position 8. So Mark Jackson has made his way up to the front of the field, and I fully expect Mark Jackson to remain up in the front of this field for several laps to come. But I am wrong. I stand corrected as the number 20 of Matt Clifton makes a successful pass. Boy, Joel, I was wrong on that call.
Yeah, Matt Clifton's another one of those Southeast Motorsports drivers that they just, I don't know, they just know how to get around these tracks. It's like they've got more practice, more laps on these tracks than other drivers, and they can control the cars.
Big shout out to the fans out there. We have got Amanda Stewart out there in broadcasting chat, written on Michael Jeans. We have got Michelle Master Eisenhower written on everyone. And we have got Cody Lipster out there written on Jarrett tonight in the number 99. We appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that like button. And ladies and gentlemen, points will be posted up on Dan Lisa by our point master, Cody Lipster. So a big shout out to Cody for getting those points posted up in a timely fashion. Green Flag Racing here. Number 20, Matt Clifton, Mark Jackson, Michael Jeans, our top 3.
Yeah, up front, we don't really have any hard racing. There's at least 3 to 4 car lengths between all 4 of the top 4 cars. So maybe we can find some actual racing in the back.
Well, I tell you what, Joel. You know, here's oftentimes here in Texas, it's really not against, we caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to find that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay.
'05 car.
And we do know that the 051 of Paul Cohen was involved in that one. Paul Cohen in trouble just a couple of laps ago. Looking at our All-Pro Broadcasting replay brought to you by GW Graphics, Paul Cohen just coming out of that turn a little bit too fast there, Joel, and just spinning. As he spins nose first into the inside wall on his roof, doing several 360s. Very actually impressive maneuvering there by Paul Cohen as he lands that vehicle back up on four tires. But Paul Cohen, single car flip out somersault situation tonight all by himself. It happens here at Texas, but I tell you what, that is going to cost him one of his 2 backup vehicles.
Absolutely, it happens here on Texas. In practice before the race, I was out on track, and it happened to me a couple of times. You come off of turn 2, and you hit the track at a certain point, and it unloads the car, and the car's like sitting on ice with the rear end, and it just comes around with you.
And when it does, you know, there's nothing you can do but close your eyes and hope it all turns out right side up, as it did tonight for the number 51. But I tell you what, that Chevy SS, it is torn up pretty bad, beat up, black and blue. But I know that he will be back out here. So right now, underneath our second caution with 3 lead changes, Matt Clifton, Mark Jackson, Michael Jeans, some very familiar names up there remaining in the top 3. But Raymond Rittenauer and Craig Kinney sitting in positions 4 and 5. Got time to get a driver interview in here with our front runner of the night. We have Matt Clifton in the number 20. How are you doing, Matt?
Getting ready to fire a pit crew, man. What's up?
All righty. Are you having troubles there with your pit crew?
Yeah, 14-second stops ain't gonna cut it.
Oh, no, sir, not at all. But I tell you what, you have done a very good job so far tonight in that number 20, Bush. What do you expect for the next 45 laps?
I think you're going to see pretty much what we've seen for the first 25. After 10 or 12 laps or so, everybody gets real tight in the middle and real loose off.
Alrighty, so tire wear and handling, a very big issue tonight. What can we do as drivers, though, anticipating that's going to be the way it is 10 laps out of the fuel run? Is there anything we can do to avoid that?
Lift early, let it roll longer, and ease back into the throttle. Don't just back out and gun it.
Alrighty, sounds like some very good advice right there. Hopefully you can lead your brethren out there with that advice. Good luck to you and the guys over at Southeast.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, now we were talking about letting it roll out, braking early, rolling it. So what is he talking about there, right there, Joel? And we says letting it roll.
What he's talking about is you let off the throttle and you let it roll through the corner till it gets to the apex, and then you start easing down on the gas. You can't just stomp it. You have to ease down on it, like if you had an egg underneath your pedal and you didn't want to break it.
So you're actually trying to control yourself in the corners by use of acceleration and soft deceleration in combination with actual wheel handling.
Absolutely. Your accelerator pedal is as much handling control at this track as your steering wheel is.
Interesting. Very interesting right there. Now these drivers are putting out lap times sitting in the low 28s. Mark Jackson, 28.293. Matt Clifton, 28.754. Nobody hitting down into the 27s. I don't think we're going to see any 27s. And the speeds, talk to us about the speeds these drivers are putting out here tonight.
Well, 28 second lap is usually around 185 to 190 miles per hour. So they're turning some hot laps around this track, and they're putting down some strong laps. They're going to slow down as the tires wear out. They cannot hold that kind of speed continually. They'll be down in the 29s by the end of the fuel run.
We're getting ready to return to Green Flag Racing. Looking at the number 20 of Matt Clifton, getting those tires warmed up. We call that scrubbing here. Get them warmed up and ready to go. Trying to keep that heat into those tires. We are mostly cloudy though right now, so we know that track's not getting too hot, but these drivers, they are eating up those tires. Tire wear, very important. Mark Jackson will be restarting side by side with Matt Clifton and getting ready to go. And Mark Jackson off out of the gate very early, drifting up into that outer lane. That outer lane appears to be where he wants to be. Matt Clifton down, back up. These drivers are utilizing every bit of this track, Joel.
Absolutely. You go into the corner high in 1 and you come out on the up high in 2. You dive to the center in between 1 and 2. You dive to the bottom and let it roll out to the wall coming off the corner.
A lot of things to remember out here. Taking a good look right now, mid-pack with the number 77 of Jack Watts and the 51 of Dustin Lee. Now, I'll tell you what, these are two top-notch drivers. They're coming up into the mix with the number 90 of Craig Kinney and the number 99 of Jared Lipster. A little bit of a 4-pack right here. Jack Watts trying to come underneath, but number 9, Jack Watts going for a little bit of a ride right there. Good action, having to check it up as he hit the apron just about bought the farm, but good save by Jack Watts here on lap 30.
Absolutely a good save by Jack for him not to lose no more positions than he lost. He's being challenged by the 51 right now of Dustin Lee going into 3 and 4. He's being challenged by Dustin Lee, but Dustin's backing out. So apparently Dustin's either trying to save his tires or he's already burned them up.
We did see Jack Watts get just a little bit loose there due to hitting that apron. Something these drivers do need to do is focus on staying just about a foot off of that apron. Now here at Texas, we can go below that white line coming around that corner. So far, not seeing any drivers wanting to get down there below that, staying up in the normal path of field here at Texas.
Absolutely. we
Matt
could
Clifton
go below
still.
it. We can go below that line, but at this track it doesn't pay you to, because you get on dirty surface and you get loose because you get on a angle that's not normal.
We are on lap 32 of 80. Good racing tonight so far. We've had only 2 cautions, 5 lead changes. Right now, the hottest action on the track belonging to the number 77 of Jack Watts, side-by-side racing along with Jarrett Lipster and Dustin Lee. Now, Dustin Lee looking like he could possibly get himself into a 3-wide position, backing her down, but Jack Watts has now been working to try to get around Jarrett Lipster for about the last 3 laps and just can't quite seem to be able to do it down onto that inside lane. Is there a preferred lane here at Texas, Joel?
It depends on how your car's handling. If your car's handling right, the middle lane to upper lane is the lane that you can keep your RPMs and your torque up on and pull off the corner faster. If your car's not handling, you're going to have to run the low line and let it and pinch it down going in and let it drift out coming off.
Jack Watts able to successfully make the pass on the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster along with the 51 of Dustin Lee. But here comes Dustin Lee to the inside, going to try to get around Jack Watts. Jarrett Lipster getting into the rear end of Dustin just a hair, possibly trying to shoot him forward. But I didn't think that move quite worked out, as Dustin Lee losing positions. Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a look at that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay.
The 88 car of Gary Burke come off of turn 1 and 2, unloaded with him, tail end come around, and he hit the wall.
Unfortunate break for the number 88 of Gary Burke tonight. Lost it all by himself. Again, amazing flippage out there. Doing everything he can to get that vehicle back into pit row. Alrighty, unfortunately, that will be knocking the number 88 out of tonight's race. Replay brought to you by GW Graphics. Great replay action there with All Pro Broadcasting. Now, we are watching 88. He is smoking up this track. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it into pit row, getting her down onto the apron. Going to do the best he can to get into pit row. But I tell you what, that he has taken a beating out here tonight at Texas. All drivers right now going into pit row: Matt Clifton, Michael Jeans, Mark Jackson, Raymond Rittenmeyer, Jack Watts. The whole gang is coming in to pit row tonight here on lap 37, almost at our halfway point, Joel.
Yeah, they're and you're going to see that anytime there's a caution, you're going to see the whole field come down pit road, because four new feel-good Goodyears makes racing a lot nicer on this track.
As soon as these drivers do get straightened out, we're going to get one more driver interview in here for the evening. Underneath our third caution of the evening here at Texas. Joining us in the booth is Raymond Rittenmeyer in the number 87 tonight, currently sitting in position 4. How are we doing, Raymond?
Oh, not bad.
All right, talk to me about your night so far.
I'm up here in 4th place right now. Car feels pretty good, actually. I don't know what everybody's talking about this set. I kind of like it.
All right, have you got high hopes for the remaining 40 laps? You think you can get the number 87 up to the front tonight?
I think if we can get a long run, I might be all right.
All right, anybody out here you're running with or you'd like to give a shout out to?
Nope, just you guys for doing a good job on the broadcast there.
All right, well, thank you, Raymond, and good luck to you tonight, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, Raymond Rittenmeyer, kind of a quiet guy, but right now he is up there in position 5. Joining us again in the booth is Craig Kinney. Craig Kinney in the number 90 tonight. How are you doing, Craig?
I'm not the best out of you.
Very good. Getting very excited out here watching you. We know that you usually are a top 5 finisher here on these intermediates. So talk to us about what you think the next 40 laps are going to hold for you here at Texas.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and stay out of trouble and just keep the tires on it for as long as I can, because I think that's really what makes the difference at this track is tire wear for sure. So I'll be looking to keep that in check.
All right, copy that. And anybody you'd like to give a big shout out to?
Just you guys for putting these race on. It's a lot of fun, so thanks. Appreciate it.
All righty. Good luck to you tonight, Craig.
Thanks, man.
We are going to get back to our restart here very momentarily, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Jean's out there in the front, Matt Clifton, Mark Jackson, Craig Kenny, Raymond Rittenmeyer rounding out our top 5. We have got 14 drivers on the lead lap. Unfortunately, number 88, Gary Burt, out for mechanical failures. Paul Cohen and the number 6, Chris Hogue, out as well. Mechanical failures tonight here at Texas. I'll tell you what, Texas is a bit of a tough track, Joel.
Yes, Texas is a tire eater, and it'll eat cars too if you come off that corner and lose it, because these walls don't give that much.
Now, after our 3rd caution of the evening at the halfway point, I'm pretty sure these drivers now are very familiar with the limitations that these Cup cars are placing upon them. We know they have got to watch that throttle. They have got to get on that brake a little bit more. We've learned about rolling the Cup car through the corners here at Texas. The restarts have looked very good. And away we go back to our 3rd restart of the evening. Michael Jeans immediately out of that gate, up into the middle lane, back down onto the inside. Mark Jackson, Matt Clifton, side by side. Deja vu as of about 6 laps ago, Joel.
Yeah, that's correct. And now they got Matt Clifton coming down right behind Mark Jackson. Going to do a crossover in 3 and 4.
I tell you what, I do not think that Mark Jackson saw that one coming, as comes the number 51 of Dustin Lee and Vernon Markheim in the number 33. They're side by side with Raymond Rittenmeyer. And I tell you what, these boys on that inner lane now are going to the front. Vernon in the number 3, past the 87 fighting back there side by side, almost near contact. Jarrett Lipster knocking on the back door of Vernon as well, wanting a little bit of piece of this action. Number 90, Craig Kenny loose. Number 90, Craig Kenny loose. But good save by Craig, but that is going to cost him a few spots right here on lap 41.
Yeah, you can save it, but you're going to lose speed, you're going to lose position, so you're going to have to fight to come back.
And right now, Craig Kenny is fighting to come back. All over the rear end of the number 74 of Wesley Whitfield, down onto the inside.
Yeah, and that inside loose at, so he's got to be careful coming through there on the inside, because apparently his car doesn't handle down there real good, as loose as he got.
He has made the successful pass on Wesley Whitfield. Right now, Jack Watts down onto the inside, passing Wesley Whitfield as well. Wesley Whitfield a little bit into the wall. Major slowdown tonight for Wesley Whitfield on lap 43. Possibly has already burned up his tires. Vernon Markheim in trouble. Vernon Markheim in trouble, bringing out our 4th caution of the evening. Taking a look at that on our All-Pro Broadcasting replay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, a single car spin out. Vernon Markheim up into the wall across track. A few fancy 360s right there. Not trying to show off, just trying to regain maneuvering in that Sprint Cup car. But Vernon Markheim severely beaten up by his own slip of the wheel here tonight on lap 43.
Yes, Scott, what it looked like to me was he almost hit the wall and he jerked the car away from the wall, and when he did, the tail end come around, that shot him back across to the inside wall, and that's what did all the damage to him.
Well, I tell you what, Joel, these drivers out here, overall, they are doing a great job. We have seen, no major bang-ups, no major big ones, just pretty much single-car incidences. And if we're going to have a caution, I would just soon see only one driver involved in it than the entire field.
Absolutely. The fewer cars that are involved in a caution, the better for the drivers. That means you got less drivers getting tore up, and it makes the racing much better when you still got a bunch of cars out there and they're not tore up. Unfortunately for the driver that does, it usually means he's going to use a backup at this track, because this car, when you come off that backstretch and hit the wall, you do a lot of damage.
Now, every driver out here on this track was in pit row. We had Texas absolutely empty other than the pace cars. So all drivers right now on their way out of pit row here on lap 45. We're looking at about 35 laps to go, probably 33 by the time we get back into green flag racing here at Texas. Once you get
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. With 33 laps to go, our fuel window is 30 to 34, depending on how you're driving. But tire wear is much more critical than the fuel mileage. So it might set up to where some of these drivers have to come in to get tires versus fuel to make it to the end, because they can't hold the car.
Very interesting situation. A lot to think about by these drivers. Joining us in the booth is our number 2 spot right now is Tristan Beets. How are you doing, Tristan Beets?
I'm doing pretty good. What's going on, Scott?
Sitting here looking at you in position 2, making your way up to the front. You're doing very well in the points chase as well. So tonight, it's a pretty important a race for you, being up there in the top 3 of points.
Yeah, Scott. Tonight I'm just trying to finish in front of Dustin if possible, and I have to finish in front of Jack if I'm going to keep second, and we have Jarrett closing in on us in 4th too, so tonight's just a really important race for all of us right now.
All right, we are getting to the point where it might be a little bit heavy on the cautions underneath our 4th caution. What are your expectations for the remaining 35 laps? How are you on fuel? Can you make 35 laps on the fuel load? Talk to me about the next 35 laps.
I honestly don't know what's going to be in for the next 30 laps. I haven't been able to gauge how many laps I can make on a full tank yet, and I've just kind of been pitting whenever possible. So I'm just going to run through and see what happens.
All right, anybody out there you want to give a big shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to Jarrett. I'm racing with him. We've been racing together for quite a while. I want to shout out to Jack. And, yeah.
All righty. Good luck to you and your teammate Jarrett. We'll be keeping our eyes on both of you much as we can. Good luck to you tonight, Tristan.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, Tristan working hand in hand with his teammate Jarrett Lipster tonight at number 99. A couple of young guns out here with KMA Racing, but I tell you what they lack in age, they do have plenty of experience on. So right now, on our 4th restart of the night, Tristan Beets side by side with Michael Jeans. We have got some fresh oil up here in the front. Some fresh young oil going to be challenging the veteran driver of Michael Jeans.
Yes, we have. Pace car's off. Michael's holding. He's gone. He's on the pedal, and he's got a 2.5, 3 car length lead over Tristan Beets, heading towards turn 1 and 2. You got Mark Jackson on the inside of 87 trying to get by him.
I tell you what, a lot of great racing here going on with Mark Jackson. Tristan Beets, a little bit of a slide. Tristan Beets in trouble, losing momentum, slowing down. The number 20, Tristan Beets, that rear end just about came out from underneath him. And that allowed Mark Jackson a very good pass on his outside. Raymond Rittenauer had the same thoughts in mind, but as Tristan Beets was able to regain his composure a little bit quicker than Raymond Rittenauer could get past him. Matt Clifton down. We are in 3 wide positioning. with Matt Clifton and Tristan Beats momentarily 3 wide.
Yeah, Raymond Rittenauer couldn't get by Tristan Beats because he pancaked the wall with the side of his car when Tristan got loose.
Right now, Tristan all over the rear end of Matt Clifton. Definitely seeing different driving styles. Tristan Beats sliding a hair, and that's going to cost him 3 solid spots right there as Raymond Rittenauer and Dustin Lee both come underneath the 211 Tristan Beats, and it appears that he will get one more passage as the number 90 of Craig Kenny has him in his sights.
Yeah, Craig's got him in his sights. I'm not sure if Kristen overheated the tires when he got loose or what, but he seems to be dropping back. He can't stay up there. Or he's just chilling out and cooling his tires for a few laps so he can push it in a few laps and get back to the front.
Well, I tell you what, I'm pretty sure these drivers have got enough fuel right now. A veteran driver out here, the number 90 of Craig Kenny, just sitting here biding his time. I think Craig Kenny may be pulling down faster laps. Craig Kenny eyeing that inside, trying to make his maneuver, goes underneath the 211 of Tristan Beats, and they are 3 long nose to tail. Craig Kenny, Tristan Beats, Jarrett Lifster going underneath Tristan Beats on lap 52 as well. Donald Stewart, 78, in trouble here tonight on lap 52. Donald Stewart, number 78, another unfortunately spin out, but this one here did collect another driver. It does appear that as Donald Stewart was coming into that corner way too early, coming down onto the number 74 of Wesley Holland. Unfortunate break for Wesley Holland, actually hitting him twice, kind of getting a 2-for-1 situation there, but at that point in time, he was completely out of control.
Yeah, Donald was completely out of control when he slapped the wall. That's the thing at this track. If you slap that wall, you're going to lose control.
Unfortunately, Donald Stewart will be out of commission for the rest of the evening. I tell you what, unfortunate break for that Hot Wheels 78. Such a beautiful paint job out there. But he is smoking. His engine is blown. Unfortunate break for Donald Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to step away momentarily and take a commercial break, and we'll return back to Green Flag Racing here at Texas.
Thanks, race fans, for watching All Pro Broadcasting tonight. At Domino's TYJ Racing, Season 1 has been a great success, with Justin Faulkner earning the Gen 6 Cup Car Championship, while Curtis Young brought home the trophy for the Denton Fenders Truck Championship. For 2017, we are expanding to include our new Top Shelf Series. If you're a serious, clean, competitive racer looking for a league with serious, dedicated, respectful drivers who follow simple, strict rules with no favoritism, then apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for a personal invite to one of our broadcasted live tryout races starting Thursday, December 1st on All Pro Broadcasting. The few open seats in our 3 series will be filled soon. So apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com, and we will see you on the track.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Big shout out to our sponsor, Pro Automotive. I tell you what, great looking commercial right there, brought to you by GW Graphics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this coming weekend, we are having a big event for our veterans. That will be the Remember the Heroes. Will be 120 laps at Daytona Saturday night, live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting. And that is sponsored up by GW Graphics, our replay sponsor here at All Pro Broadcasting, TNT Tuesdays. Big shout out to GW. So far, pretty good race. We are on lap 56. We're down to the final 24 laps. Didn't see any green flag pit stops tonight, Joel. But what we have seen is single car spinouts. A lot of drivers overshooting this track at Texas. I do believe 4 of the 5 cautions have been caused by a car shooting upwards into the right. So let's see if they do any better right now as Vernon Markheim on that hammer pedal. Great start off. Mark Jackson down in line and Michael Jean sitting in position 3.
Yeah, I think that this next 24 laps you're going to see a little bit different style of driving. You're not going to see them trying to pass going into corners as much as they were doing, because that's where you get loose.
Well, I tell you what, Michael Jean's making that outside lane work side by side with the number 3 of Mark Jackson, but up in front, Vernon out there with plenty of clean air out there. You know, he is pulling away. Michael Jean's the number 8, actually falling backwards now is Mark Jackson, starting to gain momentum, but he is side by side with the number 20. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, last night at Dover, Matt Clifton in the last 4 laps gaining 7 spots. Could Matt Clifton do it again tonight here at Texas?
I don't know, Scott. He's getting on to Vernon's bumper, but and he might pass him now. Has he burned his tires up getting to the front that quick, that fast?
I tell you what, tire wear is everything right now. Very hard racing up front between Vernon and Matt Clifton. Mark Jackson, caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. We do know that the number 51 of Dustin Lee unfortunately caught up into it. Right now sitting over there in the grass. We're going to check our All Pro Broadcasting replay and find out exactly what went wrong with Dustin Lee. Appears it was just another one of those single car incidences. Well, actually looking at it, the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster appears to have actually gotten into the rear end of the number 51 of Dustin Lee. There definitely was contact right there, Joel. Well, I tell you what, we're going to look at that on our replay. You know, we've got several camera action angles out here. That one there was very, very hard to tell. The great saving right there by Dustin Lee in the number 51. Not suffering a whole lot of damage. I do believe he can get in and out of pit row pretty safe and get back out on this track. Fortunately, no contact with the wall. Just a slight little bit of rear end damage. By the way, great paint job in that number 51, brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. We always hate it when these great paint jobs out here get a little scuffed up, but racing is rubbing.
That is right, and I looked at a replay from bumper cam on it, and Jarrett did get into him just a little bit. So it was a incident where Jarrett actually did get into him. I don't think he intentionally got into him. I think he just didn't anticipate Dustin checking up as much going into corner to make the turn as he did.
Well, I'm glad we see it on the same camera angle right there, Joe. You know, Rubbin is racing, and you know, here we are sitting with 19 laps to go. We are not going to ask these drivers right now with 19 laps to go to back her down. Everybody is going to want to get up there to the front and win, and you aren't going to win if you're not driving aggressively. Now, there's a difference between driving aggressively on lap 20 and driving aggressively on lap 60. So we're talking about that go time. It is just about go time here at Texas.
Absolutely, it's just about go time. It's like I always say, it's the time that my late model crew chief used to tell our drivers, bring me back the trophy or the steering wheel, and I don't care which.
Quick interview in with our current race leader, the 006 of Verlis Falcons. How are you doing, sir?
I am.
All righty, a lot of pressure on you right now. We're going to be looking at about possibly a 15 to 16 lap shootout. You're up there in the front. Do you think you can hold that position for 16 more laps? Verlis, have you got a copy?
Yes.
All right. All right, are you out to win this race tonight?
No, I just got here by accident, really. There's a lot of good drivers behind me, and I know that. I get a point for leading the lap, and just try and stay in there till the end.
All righty, well, you're up there in P1 position, side by side with Matt Clifton. You are going to be the guy we are looking at. So good luck to you, and put on a good final 16 laps for us.
We're going to do our best.
Verlis Falcons will be starting side by side with Matt Clifton. Michael Jeans in position 3. Michael Jeans winning last night at Dover. Number 4 belongs to the 33 of Vernon Markheim. Number 5, Raymond Rittenauer. Number 6, Craig Kinney. Number 7, Jarrett Lipster. Wesley Whitfield, position 8. Tristan Beach, position 9. And Jack Watts rounding out the top 10. 13 drivers on the lead lap. Dustin, Ivan, and Mark making up 11, 12, and 13. So this is going to be real tight, hard racing coming up here, Joel.
Yes, it is, and I don't know what happened to Mark.
Well, they called it a racing incident, so they didn't really put the blame on him.
Pace car's off.
Here we are, side by side. Now joining us in the booth is Gary Burt. Unfortunate incidents for Gary Burt tonight. Talk to us about how it was down there when you were on the track, Gary.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. This was really a
whoa! We have got a caution out, ladies and gentlemen. As we have to find that number.
I believe Verlis was involved.
Yeah, it was Verlis. It was Verlis. Unfortunately, taking a ride tonight. Verlis driving the 006. Now let's take a look at that on our replay. Verlis coming down around that corner. It just appears that he just completely lost it in a 3-wide situation there with Raymond Rittenauer and Michael Jeans. Unfortunately, Michael Jeans caught up into that as well. I tell you, Gary, Joel, I'm looking at that from the blip mode, and the 06 just, I think his tires gave out, spinning it to the left and driving Michael Jeans into the wall. As he comes up, Mark Jackson narrowly getting around him. The only drivers involved in it is Verlis and the number 8 of Michael Jeans, but tire wear again coming into play here at Texas.
Definitely coming into play. I think that maybe he didn't pit during that pit stop, and he was out on old tires.
I tell you what, Joel, one of the most common misconceptions here about, super speedway, plate tracks, restrictor plate tracks, intermediates, short tracks, tire wear, tire wear, tire wear. Now, 2 laps ago, Verlis was out there on that P1 position, possibly because of taking only 2 or not any at all, and it did not quite pay off for him tonight at Texas. You have got to keep fresh tires on these Cup cars. I'll tell you what.
Absolutely. Every time that caution flag comes out, you need to go down pit road and get you get 4 field goods from Goodyear and put on that car.
Well, I tell you what. Now, right before that caution did hit, I was asking Gary. Unfortunately, Gary was out tonight due to mechanical failures. But go on and continue on, Gary. Talk to us about what it was like to be down there in these Cup cars.
Actually, it was a lot of fun driving them. They're extremely loose, especially coming off of 2. 3 and 4 is not so bad, but 1 and 2 is pretty tough to get around. The fresh tires were good for about maybe 5 or 6 laps, and then you'd have to start babying that throttle coming off. And they were a handful, but they're also a lot of fun. But yeah, I think Verlis right there, he made a mistake by staying out and staying on them old tires. Don't think it paid off too good for him.
Tires, tires, tires. I cannot preach that enough. We're going to try to get an interview in here with our current race leader, Vernon Margheim. We have not talked to Vernon tonight. How about it, Vernon? How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you, Scott?
I tell you what, we were a little bit thrown off by that last caution, the one we are currently serving tonight. You're up there in P1 position, going to be looking at about a 11-lap shootout, possibly. Pressure is on, brother. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is first off, get a good start, and then after that, I got to get a good run off that backstretch. That's key. Even if I keep it to the high side, I think I can get a good run on him going into turn 3. It just all depends on the start. He's going to be coming back up through the field. I'll actually be starting second, so we'll see what happens. This GTR simulator Chevrolet tonight, it's running really good. I want to thank everybody watching tonight, All Pro Broadcasting, of course, you, Scott. Appreciate it, and let's get to racing.
All right, now just one quick question. Have you got a team out here? Are you driving by yourself independently? You got anybody out here to give you a hand?
I'm all by myself there, Scott.
All righty. We'll sing a little bit of Barbara Streisand for you right there with All By Myself. Good luck to you, Vern.
Copy that, 10-4.
All right. Vernon Margheim driving the number 33 side by side on this restart with the number 20 of Matt Clifton. Now again, I mentioned Matt Clifton again as last night shooting up on the last 4 laps there at Dover. But right now, Matt Clifton is out there in the lead. This restart is going to be so critical here at Texas. This hopefully will be the last restart of the night. We're going to be looking at about 10 laps. With 10 laps to go, Gary, do you want to be on that inside line? Do you want to be on that outside line? Do you want to be in the top 2, or do you want to be back about 4th or 5th?
I want to be on the bottom, and I want to be on the pole. I want to be number 1. Just like Vernon said, you can get the jump on the start. You can get a pretty good lead, which lets you run your line going into the next corner. And it's real critical right here. If I was him, I'd be going right now.
I tell you what,
starts off, and he is going.
He is going hard.
He's got a two-car length lead going out into turn 1 and 2 from Vernon. Vernon's trying to close up on him. 87 of Raymond Rittenhour is coming underneath Vernon, trying to catch the 20 and 87 lost it, saved it, and back on the track.
All right there, driver caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we do know that Wesley Whitfield in the number 74 unfortunately caught up into that. We're going to take a look at that on our broadcasting replay. It does appear that Wesley Whitfield in the number 74 coming around that corner, possibly over, driving it, sliding up, making contact with the wall, and getting loose. Now, as he was getting loose and ricocheting off of that wall, coming down across the nose of the number 211, Tristan Beats. So still not the big one, ladies and gentlemen, thank goodness, but Wesley Whitfield taking out the 211 of Tristan Beats. Unfortunate for our number 2 point runner, Tristan Beats, tonight.
Yes, that was unfortunate for Tristan. Wesley just lost it. He was overdrove it coming off the corner and tagged the wall trying to get to the front. And that's going to be the problem in these closing laps, is drivers trying to get to the front and overdriving the car and the tires and losing.
Our leaders choosing to stay out. A little bit of an interesting situation there. Now, considering how the night has gone, Gary, if you were in the top 3 right there, would you have risked going into pit row, getting left sides, right sides, possibly losing 3 or 4 spots, but knowing with 5 laps to go, you're on fresh rubber?
I believe I'd have stayed out just like the guys did. Track position here is so critical. It's hard to pass, and your tires give it up so quickly, and these guys only raced, maybe a lap and a half on those tires. So I believe if it was me, I'd have stayed out just like those guys did.
All right, a lot of important decisions to come. Another driver up here for a driver interview is the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Now, Jarrett, you're going to be restarting off in position 3. Are you where you want to be for an 8-lap shootout?
Yes, I am.
All righty, and what are you going to do with that outer lane?
I'm starting it inside.
All righty, what are you going to do with that inside lane?
I'm trying to not make any stutters, so Matt can get any jumps on me, or so I can stay with Matt.
Copy that. But you're going to be starting side by side with Craig Kinney there in position 4. You plan on getting up into that higher lane? You're just going to hold down that inside lane?
I'm going to hold down this inside lane. I've been doing pretty well on this inside lane.
All righty. Well, you've got your big brother Cody out there keeping his eyes on you, so impress. And good luck to you, and good luck to you and KMA out there tonight, Jarrett.
Thank you.
Interesting thoughts here, Scott. Mark Jackson, Raymond Rittenauer, Tristan Beats, and Michael Jeans all got 4 brand new feel-good Goodyears starting from the rear of the pack. So we'll see what goes on, how they can cut through the field with those new tires.
We've got 2 opinions right there, Joel. We have got Gary saying up here in the front position is everything. Those drivers you mentioned choosing to get tires and give up a couple of spots. So they may very well be able to work their way up through this pack tonight. We've been seeing Matt Clifton up here in front most of the evening. Dustin Lee, our chase point leader, right now in position 7. Not a bad night at all for Dustin Lee. Michael Jeans, though, he has worked his fingers to the bone tonight, working that wheel all night long for Southeast Motorsports. Getting caught up into a few no-fault incidences of his own tonight. Still on the lead lap, sitting in position 9.
Yeah, and Mark Jackson, Michael Jean, Tristan Beats, and Raymond Rittenauer, they were already in the back of the field, so they had nothing to lose to come and get tires. It's just a matter of how good the tires are going to help them get through past the cars that are in front of them.
Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you are following the points, we are going to get the points updated hopefully tonight, and we will post the results up there onto Facebook. Going to be a very exciting race next week. I tell you what, this TNT series, we are on race 9 of 15. Lots of great continuing on action coming to you next week. Same time, same place here on TNT Tuesday, brought to you by Pro Automotive.
Pace cars off. Matt Clifton's taking over the lead. He's got about 2.5, 3-car length lead out over the top of Vernon Marheim, with Craig Kennedy gaining on Vernon, going out of 2.
Right now, Matt Clifton, he is running with the devil, trying to stay up there into the front, keeping an eye on his rearview mirror. The pressure is on, though. Position 2, Vernon Margheim, Craig Kinney, and Jarrett Lifster just about nose to tail here on lap 74. Craig Kinney, very powerhouse driver, putting the pressure on the number 33 of Vernon Margheim, and Vernon and Margheim almost to the rear end of Matt Clifton, not quite there, losing momentum as the number 90 is pressuring on down the stretch. Caution is out, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you what, these drivers tonight are falling apart here at Texas. Unfortunately, Michael Jeans caught up into that. Word on the track is number 77 of Jack Watts getting a little bit loose, popping that apron, going for a wiggle. And I think that the number 8 of Michael Jeans slightly overcompensating. Was a good driver, actually backing out of that throttle a little bit too much and spinning nose first into the wall tonight. But that situation, unfortunately, was put into effect by the number 77 of Jack Watts getting a little bit wiggly, trying to save it, and a driver trying to save him. A little bit of an overturn right there with Michael Jeans, number 8. Now, we still will have more green flag racing, but it may very well be a one-lap shootout. Gary, start doing the math for me here.
Ooh, let me see here. Let me take a look at this. We should have a one-lap shootout. Maybe two. No more than 2.
Now, interesting situation right here. The race leader, Matt Clifton, down onto the apron, going into pit row, knowing it's a one-lap shootout, possibly going in and grabbing those almighty tires that I have been talking about.
Yeah, it's just too late in the game for tires. I mean, right now it's one of those deals where you just run what you got and you get what you can get. The tire thing is definitely important. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you completely. But at this point in the race, it's just too late. You don't have enough time for them to really do you the kind of good that they could do you.
Well, and I stand corrected there, Gary. He was down there below, off track onto that apron. I had assumed he was just riding down there, indicating he was going into pit row, but has pulled back up onto the racing part of the asphalt tonight. So bypassing pit row, not going into pit row. We are looking at about a one-lap shootout.
Yes,
We're going to get that from our race officials verified here at the turn of the next caution lap. These drivers are 2 to green. So, Gary, one-lap shootout for sure?
Yes, sir. Yep, it's going to have one lap to get this job done tonight.
You know,
it's going to be, I hate to predict what's going to happen because, them top 3 or 4 guys are going to they're going to go for the win. And just like what happened to me, the thing about this car tonight, Scott, was that it did not give you any indication that it was going to break loose. Most of the time, as a driver, you can feel the rear end starting to break loose and you can lift and catch it and this and that. Tonight, it would be solid for 3 or 4 laps, no problem. Next lap coming off a corner, it would just snap loose on you when you had no idea it was coming. So what's going to happen to these top 4 or 5 guys out here, God only knows.
Will be a very interesting restart here at Texas. We have had 9 cautions and 11 lead changes tonight, so very heavy on the negative action out here. We wanted to see some green flag pit stops, but we're not going to see that tonight, unfortunately. We did have these drivers out here in practice, but as you mentioned, the car is snapping loose. Well, nothing can be done about that other than these drivers needing to possibly just rethink their entry speeds and exit accelerations.
That is absolutely true. That's how you compensate for that. You know, the other thing, you know, Goodyear might have just brought a little bit too hard of a compound to this track because you just don't have that feel. You don't feel like the tires are in the track. You just don't get that warm and fuzzy feeling that the car is going to stick. It's just like it's on pins and needles, almost like driving on ice nearly.
And we are one to go here at race 9 of 15 with the TNT Series, brought to you by Pro Automotive. Big shout out to the painter out there, over the top paints and designs. A lot of great looking vehicles out here. Big shout out to All Pro Broadcasting as well. Big shout out to the fans out there, Michelle, John, Jackson, and Cody out there keeping an eye on the broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you like what you see and see what you like, hit that like button. And we are back to Green Flag Racing, one lap shootout. Take it away, Joel.
Matt Crafton's got about a half car length lead on Vernon Marheim coming off of 2. He's drifting up to the wall to try to keep the momentum up and make it down to 3. Looks like Matt Crafton's got a big enough lead that if he don't lose it in 3 and 4, he'll make it to the checkered flag as the winner.
I tell you what, Craig Kenny side by side with the number 33 of Vernon Margheim, racing hard for position 2 and 3. Matt Clifton in the number 20 tonight, bringing it home for TNT Race 9. Second position belonging to Vernon Margheim. And position 3 belonging to Craig Kenny. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be getting these drivers up here for post-race interviews. 9 cautions, 11 lead changes. Craig Kenny bringing up a very solid 3rd place tonight. How about it, Craig Kenny?
Hello, Ted.
Hey, talk to me about that 3rd place finish tonight.
Yeah, to be honest, a little disappointing, especially with the late restart being on the low line there, and I just couldn't get it going when Matt took off, so rented the low line to Vernon and couldn't get by him coming back to the checkered, so good race by Matt, and congratulations to him, and congratulations to Vernon too.
All righty, anybody you'd like to give a big shout out there in that number 90 tonight?
No, I think I'm good, man. Thanks for the race, though. Appreciate it, and thanks for everything you guys do.
All righty, thank you, Craig, for coming out tonight for race 9. Good job, brother.
Thanks.
Bringing up our number 2 position is Vernon Margheim. Now, we had talked to him earlier, and he told us how he was going to keep it up in the front. Did a very good job tonight, Vernon. Talk to me.
Oh, man, it was fun. I got to tell you, Matt held me off. He did a great job. Craig Kenny in the 90, man, he almost got me on that last lap. I really got to thank GTR for stepping up tonight. And Young & Sons, IndianaDiesel.com, All Pro. You, Scott, for announcing tonight. It was fun. A lot of cautions, strategy. Had to put me up there. Finally got back up there and was able to at least place in the top 3.
All right, now you had mentioned GTR. What exactly is GTR?
GTR is a sim rig that you can look up. It's what I'm sitting on right now. I'm sitting on a GTR F model. It's a very sturdy rig, kind of like a play seat or something like that, but more durable.
All right, copy with that. I've heard about the Buddha butt kickers. Is it similar to a butt kicker?
No, you could put the full speaker surround sound on it. Three TV screens on there, the whole bit. They come fully loaded for the most part.
I'll tell you what, Vernon Margheim dressed to impress tonight at Texas, paying off. Congratulations on your number 2 spot, Vern.
All right, thank you, Scott, and thank everybody for watching tonight.
Yes, sir.
Matt Crafton, you got a copy on me.
What's up, buddy?
Well, you won it. Tell us how you did it.
Right place at the right time, man. I don't know.
I tell you
How
what,
the cars handled tonight?
Terrible. Look like a bulldozer.
Okay. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Southeast Motorsports, KMA, All Pro with John Hendrick.
Okay, well, congratulations on your win, and we'll catch you at the party after the race.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, I tell you what, Gary, exciting race out here. I know you encountered some bad luck, but give us an overall final thought of tonight at Texas. Oh, I'm sorry, Gary has already stepped out. Joel, give me your final thoughts.
Final thoughts at Texas. Kind of heavy on cautions, even though it was single car cautions. Not the driver's fault. Mostly the car snaps loose without any warning. We've heard that from one of the drivers that was down there. It did it to me during practice before we come on the broadcast. And so there's nothing the driver can do to correct that when the car's running fine and it snaps loose like that. Plenty of green flag racing, plenty of green flag passes, and overall just a good solid race. No green flag pit stops, but that was due to the snapping loose and cars losing themselves.
Alrighty, copy that. Now we will get those points updated on Dan Lisa by tomorrow, so you can keep up with the points chase. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are going to be going to Atlanta in the B class. Going to be a lot of exciting racing there at Atlanta. A little bit of a bigger track situation. Going to see a lot of 3 wide next Tuesday night at Atlanta. Final shout out to our broadcaster, APB, our painter, Over the Top Paints and Designs, our sponsor, Jason Russo, and Pro Automotive out of Dudley, Massachusetts. Be sure to join us on Saturday for the Remember the Heroes broadcast, live action from All Pro Broadcasting and KMA Racing for a grueling 120 laps at Daytona. Saturday night, Remember the Heroes. And we will see you there, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a big like out there on Facebook. I am Scott Kolovic. He is Joel Guy. And we are out of here.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.